If you are attractive, successful, and you have a lot going for you in life, you always need to consider your audience when you are talking about problems or you're looking for assistance with a particular problem. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. And one of the things that when I work with people, especially people of higher means, status, or attractiveness, is you always want to consider, your audience when you're talking to people about problems. Because a lot of times, if you have a particular aesthetic or you have a certain economic status and you make a certain amount of money, you live a certain lifestyle, people will look at you as like your life is good. What are you complaining about? Or your problems aren't real, or you are crazy for complaining. Or in some cases, good. It's about time you had a damn problem, because your life is so good. I think you deserve to have some problems like the rest of us do. And so people can look at it that way, even people that you would never even suspect, friends and family members. And a lot of times that's why, later on down the line, if you get into an argument or a conflict with someone, they're going to maybe throw things back up in your face that you've said, because it's a humble tactic, but it's like your problems to them don't seem feasible. So if you're talking to people that are, struggling to pay bills, struggling to eat, and then you're coming on and you're talking about like a problem that you and your husband are having, they're going to be like, get the hell out of here with that. And although they may not say it, they may be thinking that because that's not a real problem to them. So you always have to consider your audience when talking about, you also have to consider, you have to check the temperature in the room before you come on and talk about a problem. It doesn't mean that your problems are any less significant, but depending on who you're talking to at the time, they may view your problems as a non-factor, non-significance, or not relevant. And you just have to consider that sometimes, and consider what they're going through. And I know that that's like a lot of different variables, but when you think about I'm there, I show up for everybody, and then the moment I want someone to show up for me, they can't do it. And one of the reasons might be, one, if that's been a dynamic that you've set the stage of your relationship around, where you're just constantly a caregiver and you show up for everybody. But two, if you are a pretty polished, put together individual, people don't ever worry about you because they feel like, oh, you've got it all. You've got everything. You can do all things. You wear many hats. You don't need help. And I can't do anything for you. So I'm not going to offer that because I've got much bigger things going on. And they may not tell you this, but this is kind of the line of thinking, like, I've got much bigger things going on than what you're coming to me with. And so I'm not going to show up for you in that way. And there's nothing I could do for you. Or if they do show up for you, again, they throw it back in their face. And part of the throwing back in your face element is I want to balance the power dynamic. And whether you realize it or not, people see you on a higher level. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. People see you on a higher level. And the reason they throw something that you've told them in confidence or in vulnerability back in your face is they want to level the playing field by humbling you. So if you come down a few notches, then I'll feel better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll feel better, and then I can feel like, then I can feel somewhat important or more attractive or more smart, or like I have something, because now you're not as big and bad as you thought you were. You're not as put together as you as you thought you were. And so what people will try and do is they will try to test that to see, because a lot of times people who may be dealing with challenges, or who may be chronically dealing with challenges, meaning that they're in survival mode, they've been dealing with challenges all their life. What they're going to do is they're going to test you to see if you're real, if you've got your stuff as together as you say you do. So I'm going to continue to test the dynamics. I'm going to continue to test the power in the relationship, and I'm going to continue to test you to see if you're really that stable, because I don't believe that you are. And I'm going to push the envelope because I want to see where your breaking point is. And that can definitely be manipulative, and definitely test and try the relationship. But again, always consider your audience.